A long-standing community bar in Wyoming County was consumed by an immense fire. Factoryville Fire Chief Gal reported that the alarm was raised shortly after 2 p.m., prompting emergency teams from both Wyoming and Lackawanna counties to spring into action. Gal mentioned that the fire rapidly escalated, fueled by strong winds, and at one juncture, the blaze was so massive that it was visible over a considerable distance. For generations, Jen's Tavern had served as a well-known gathering place in the region, having opened its doors in 1955. The charity boxes typically secured at McDonald's are usually anchored, indicating that there must have been previous incidents necessitating such precautions. This man, displaying a blatant disregard for consequences, approaches the collection box for the Poppy charity, casually unfastens it, discreetly slips it under his coat to conceal it, and then departs the restaurant. The exact sum of money that man managed to collect through donations remains uncertain, but these boxes are seldom tallied. While it might not have been a substantial amount, the swiftness and self-assuredness of his actions suggest that this was not his first experience with such activities. The Conjuring House, owing to its eerie and spine-chilling reputation, continues to be the ultimate destination for numerous paranormal teams. For YouTuber Jake the Viking and his team, this location truly lives up to its ominous name. While in the library, the crew hears what resembles a woman's voice.
Door looking over there.
Like a door.
Still shut.
Like... What the was that?
What? Did you hear that?
What was that?
Did you hear that? Whoa.
Yeah.
That came from over here. You heard it?
Is Jennifer out there?
And shortly after, the door swings open.
The heat thing?
Yeah.
Is that you still? Okay.
Yeah, I'm shutting the door.
Oh, the door's opening.
Bro, oh, I just shut this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yo. That thing is moving.
Their initial assumption is that it might have been related to changes in air pressure. However, they proceed to capture a mysterious figure on their connected device.
Okay, not to alarm you.
No.
For a split second, I had a body on this camera. Remember when it was picking up?
They attempt to communicate with it, but it remains unresponsive.
Around on the chair.
After a second attempt, the figure draws nearer.
There's somebody on that chair in front of us. It wasn't doing that earlier. Whoa! Whoa! Me!
Appearing as if it's slowly crawling towards them. Later on, a collective experience leaves them all hearing an unexplained sound simultaneously.
What the was that?
How did you hear it? Because you got good headphones on.
It came through the headphones.
It came through the headphones.
I'm getting audio from you.
I've got super chills right now.
What was that?
Furthermore, in another room, a steady cam records an enigmatic noise. The plethora of unexplained occurrences at the Conjuring House leads way to the local legends surrounding the place. In my personal perspective, these stories seem undeniably real. A large assembly of individuals can pose a significant threat, particularly when they are collectively excited and encouraged by their peers. This particular McDonald's in Nottingham found itself in a situation where such a crowd was causing chaos as people climbed onto the counters and jostled one another. The employees in the background appeared uncertain about how to react, some watching with what appeared to be sheer horror, while others seemed to display a complete lack of concern for the unfolding events. Following this incident, the police utilized the video footage to analyze the actions of the mob, who had also been engaged in looting and theft at the McDonald's. Personally, regardless of how hungry I may be, witnessing such a scene would undoubtedly prompt me to turn around and exit the establishment. This is the Bataclan Theater, And in the video, the Eagles of Death Metal Band is performing heavy metal music for their audience of 1,500 fans. It was Friday, November 13th, 2015, and people were going about their daily routines, unaware of the imminent danger lurking in the shadows. As the band continued to play, 3 individuals entered the theater and began shooting at the crowd. The Eagles of Death Metal Band was still performing when the chaos erupted. You can distinctly hear the moment when the band's music abruptly ceases, replaced by the terrifying sound of gunshots tearing through the night. Observing the guitarist as he quickly takes cover and starts to run, the drummer hunkering down beneath his drum set, and the lead guitarist hesitating, taking a step back, uncertain of where to go, evokes a heart-stopping sensation as they react to the imminent peril, along with their devoted fans. In the subsequent clip, survivors are seen leaving the theater after the police neutralized the attackers and rescued the hostages they had taken. This surreal event was part of a coordinated 3-pronged attack that included bomb explosions at various locations in Paris on the same fateful day. Witnessing that group of scholars face a sudden life-threatening situation as their plane stalled in midair was incredibly harrowing. The moment when the aircraft started to flip, endangering the skydivers, was truly unimaginable. It's almost inconceivable that the circumstances deteriorated to the point where even the pilot had to eject from the aircraft. Thankfully, everyone, including Scott and the pilot, managed to survive the ordeal. Just contemplating how much more catastrophic it could have been sends a chilling sensation down my spine. Google Maps often reveals perplexing phenomena, and IKEA Power has stumbled upon something rather unsettling in what appears to be the heart of the desert. These colossal indentions in the sand, one of which seems to contain water, appear far from natural. Situated within a high-security military base, some other commentators contend that the entire city of Ridgecrest, California, is riddled with enigmatic and dubious sites. These formations bear a striking resemblance to spacecraft or highly classified objects that one would assume should remain hidden from satellite surveillance. What do you believe we are observing in this instance? The news of that terrifying event, in which the hippo unexpectedly charged at the zookeeper, was undeniably anxiety-inducing. It's astonishing to think that the zookeeper attempted to intervene in a clash between 2 territorial male hippos. The immense power of the hippo's bite is truly horrifying. It's truly miraculous that the zookeeper emerged from the incident without injury, as a single bite could have had disastrous consequences. Have you ever encountered such a hair-raising confrontation with animals in the past? Just contemplating it sends shivers down my spine. Consider this sinkhole in Bangladesh, for instance. On November 19, 2015, a sinkhole materialized beneath a beach house in close proximity to the capital of Dhaka. Fortunately, authorities detected the warning signs and evacuated the residents before it collapsed. The truly alarming aspect is how rapidly the house vanished, as the ground swallowed it entirely, leaving no trace of its prior existence. Sinkholes like this can be classified into 2 categories: natural and man-made. Natural sinkholes arise due to geological and topographical factors, while man-made sinkholes occur as a result of extensive underground excavations causing stress on the foundation. Additionally, heavy rainfall plays a pivotal role by weakening the soil and triggering subsidence. In July of 2007, WJLA, a TV station in Washington, D.C., was abruptly interrupted from its regular programming. Everything was going as usual when all of a sudden the screen went black, and without warning, this image appeared on viewers' TVs. A close-up, grainy black and white photo of 2 human heads, one smiling and one not. Viewers watching live were confused and honestly creeped out. The image was unsettling to say the least. It stayed on screen for several seconds with no movement or sound, just the image, before abruptly disappearing and returning to the station's regular programming. Many viewers called the station and made posts online trying to get answers. In response, the cable company ended up releasing an official statement on the incident. They claimed the image was a still frame from an advertisement for the Oprah Winfrey Show that was scheduled to play later on. Basically, they reasoned that their system somehow glitched in showing the still frame. The explanation left people skeptical. Many searched but found no Oprah Winfrey advertisement showing anything resembling the still frame. It's widely believed the explanation was a cover-up for a successful hijacking of the station, although, if this is the case, whoever's responsible for it is not identified. Viewers that had footage of the incident found that after posting them online, they were mysteriously getting taken down. There are no surviving videos left on the internet today, and so footage of the incident is now being treated as lost media. The only remaining evidence is the picture of the still frame that was shown. In the Chapan province of northern Thailand, people were going about their regular laundry routine when an unusual incident occurred. The clothes inside the tumble dryer became overheated, leading to the dryer catching fire. 2 women and a child were seated directly in front of the dryer when the flames erupted. As the fire quickly intensified, one of the women stood up and took a step away, while the mother swiftly moved the child to a safer distance. Meanwhile, onlookers attempted to create more space between themselves and the fire. The employees on site had a fire extinguisher at the ready, but they appeared somewhat uncertain about the best approach to combat the flames. Their caution was well-founded, as opening the dryer doors would have provided additional oxygen to the fire, causing it to flare up. Despite initial challenges, they ultimately managed to bring the fire under control without causing damage to any other part of the laundromat. The footage from 2018, in which 2 unaware children were swimming in the ocean, brought them astonishingly close to 2 killer whales. It is undeniably distressing to contemplate. Watching this incident unfold is sure to trigger a surge of anxiety. Thankfully, those magnificent creatures opted to proceed on their way without causing any harm. Nevertheless, the mere notion of what might have unfolded is haunting. Can you envision yourself in such a situation? What do you think your instincts would have directed you to do? At times, chaos originates from within, as is evident in the subway incident where an employee appears to be on the brink, engaged in a heated argument with a coworker. The situation escalates as threats are exchanged, with the subway employee threatening to damage the coworker's phone. And in response, she threatens to pay for the phone's repair. Ultimately, she decides to leave, and he instructs her to clock out, indicating that he likely holds a position of authority, making the situation more disconcerting.
If you mess up my phone...
I'm not going to mess up your phone. You can stop recording me because you do not have my permission to record me, and I will sue you for it.
The subway employee berates the coworker for recording the interaction, though she is doing so to protect herself. It becomes apparent that his anger stems from her spending extended periods in the bathroom due to pregnancy-related complications.
That's because I'm pregnant, mister.
A pregnancy is not an excuse.
He contends that she shouldn't continue working if her condition is that severe. Even after she checks out, he persists in shouting at her. She contacts the manager to explain the situation, and despite having clocked out, she continues to confront him.
I'm about to put all this crap
Go ahead,
on
put it on
Facebook.
Facebook, and I swear to God,
I'm about to
I will
put it
have
on
your
my-
ass in jail.
Meanwhile, he returns to his duties assisting customers as she roams around, continuing the argument. Both parties bear some responsibility for the dispute. The employee was unquestionably wrong for yelling at his coworker, but she also inadvertently escalated the situation by persisting in her confrontation. Therefore, it's reasonable to conclude that they both share blame for the escalating conflict. In the following video clip, a bear initially engages in typical bear behavior by foraging through trash in search of food.
It's hard to tell. He's standing tall as I am. He's looking at me right now. So.
However, it appears dissatisfied with the contents of the trash can and instead strolls over to the parked cars and approaches a nearby man.
Yeah, well, they are liver dogs.
Understandably sensing the potential danger, the man retreats and seeks refuge by locking himself inside the house. Nevertheless, the bear persistently advances, coming uncomfortably close.
5 feet. Little bastard, don't come to the window.
This bear displays a persistent interest in what might be a human meal, prompting the cameraman to resort to his most powerful tool for defense, bear spray.
Just spray.
As expected, the spray proves effective, causing the bear to swiftly retreat and run away. The video commences with two individuals explaining that they decided to drive to a cornfield in response to rumors of a clown's presence in the area. They proceed down the road at a cautious pace, their attention fixed on the cornfield, hoping to catch a glimpse of something unusual. Eventually, the passenger requests the driver to stop because he believes he spotted something.
Stop. What? I think I see something. What's up? No way. What did you see? Did you see a clown? Yeah. No fucking way.
While the passenger begins to venture into the cornfield, the driver catches sight of a clown in the side mirror. He hastily urges his friend to return to the vehicle as the clown pursues them, chasing after the car.
Trevor! Oh my God! Get in here!
Fortunately, the two men manage to escape quickly enough.
Oh my God! Go! What the fuck? Holy fuck! Oh my God! Oh my God! What? Oh shit! You just went back.
This video is captured in a cave located in southern Germany, and it is certainly not intended for individuals prone to claustrophobia. The footage showcases people navigating their way through incredibly narrow passages. If you've persevered this far into the video, it's safe to assume you either don't suffer from claustrophobia or possess a strong sense of adventure. In some sections, the rock formations are so constricting that it's impossible to turn your head or even take a full breath to pass through them. Moreover, since there's water at the entrance, not wearing an appropriate wetsuit can lead to a dangerous situation. Becoming cold and wet deep within the cave system could potentially result in a life-threatening scenario, as any rescue mission might prove to be unsuccessful if one were to become trapped. Therefore, it's advisable to be well prepared and proceed with caution as you explore this captivating video. From time to time, passengers may anticipate a less than ideal experience, such as turbulence when flying. However, the last thing anyone expects is for the body of the aircraft to develop cracks during the flight. This exact scenario occurred on American Airlines flight en route from San Francisco to Dallas in 2014. As the plane's fuselage began to exhibit visible cracks, passengers on board were thrown into a state of panic, urgently calling for flight attendants. They alerted the cabin crew to the fact that the interior panel of the cabin on both sides had started to separate from the walls, creating a noticeable gap. Initially, the captain contemplated pressing on with the flight to Dallas, as the cabin pressure remained stable. However, the situation took a terrifying turn when the aircraft began to shake violently. After a thorough inspection, the captain communicated with air traffic control, declaring an emergency and requesting an immediate landing. Horrified passengers documented the event by capturing videos, some of which were uploaded to YouTube and shared with local news outlets. One of the passengers, James Wilson, reported that popping noises were audible outside the cabin shortly after takeoff, and the fuselage began to tremble. The insulation became exposed as the interior panels detached from the walls, resulting in a drop of cabin pressure. An American Airlines spokesperson later cited a blown air duct as the cause of the incident, with further investigation planned. Passenger James Wilson described the issue as affecting the entire row 14 on all sides, from the floor to the ceiling. Suddenly, there was a series of loud popping sounds and a tearing noise, reminiscent of heavy objects falling from the overhead bins. In this video, we observe an inquisitive bear meandering through the urban neighborhoods of Canada. The local residents, however, are completely unaware of their proximity to the bear. The bear continues its exploration, following its typical behavior in such situations. Regrettably for three young girls, they unexpectedly encounter the hungry bear, and what unfolds next is truly astonishing. Can it be true that they actually pulled out their smartphones to capture a photograph of the bear? Understandably, the bear appears perturbed by these peculiar humans' actions and swiftly retreats from the scene. Surprisingly, the bear re-emerges from its hiding place, much to the amazement of the individuals recording the encounter. It appears that the bear had a brief encounter with paparazzi and decided it wanted no part of the attention. In this case, it's difficult to fault the bear's reaction. When all else seems to falter, New Jersey consistently knows how to elevate the situation. On September 20th, Joshua Hargreaves took an alarming course of action by driving his gold Toyota SUV into a neighbor's garage in an apparent attempt to intimidate him.
5 o'clock, I got a call saying what happened to the garage door, and I was like, what do you mean? It was there when I left.
Following this, he proceeded to the nearest police station in Independence Township, where he forcefully crashed through its wall, all the while celebrating and playing Guns N' Roses' Welcome to the Jungle at full volume. Hargreaves exited his vehicle and began to revel in the wreckage he had caused. Astonishingly, he showed little reaction when he was promptly apprehended and charged with an act of terrorism, which carries the potential for a life sentence. Perhaps someone can consider sending him an iPod during his time in prison.
This was intentional.
Oh, absolutely, sure. You know, he admits it's intentional. He wanted to do it. His intent, he states that his intent was not to hurt anyone, but he wanted to scare people.
Surprisingly, it appears there's a rising trend of individuals sharing their eerie crawl spaces online, and this phenomenon is notably exemplified by TikTok user @J_baby. She revealed in her series of videos that her rental home featured several profoundly unsettling crawl spaces, which ignited fervent speculation among her viewers. Many users observed an unsettling message that read, "I heart Colleen's body," in one of the rooms, causing concern that it might be connected to a missing girl named Colleen. However, it is more likely the result of a child's creative scribbling from a previous owner. The peculiar crawl space in question was equipped with various fixtures, including a light switch, a light fixture, an outlet, exposed wires, and an exposed pipe, which were oddly concealed by a lampshade. The plaster transitioned into wood flooring as the tunnel opened up into a child's bedroom closet, adding to the eerie nature of the discovery. Given the context she presented in her initial video, where she has framed it as things in my rental house that just don't make sense, it's understandable that the users were left feeling uneasy by these revelations. The trend follows a pattern of people showcasing aspects of their homes, offices, or other spaces that are logical and make sense, creating a stark contrast to these enigmatic crawl spaces.
Random things in my kitchen that just make sense.
Furthermore, it's worth noting that her rental home harbored additional crawl spaces, making it clear that the unsettling discovery was not an isolated incident. A second crawl space was concealed behind a blacked-out window filled with unpleasant items and dead leaves. Another crawl space, likely leading to the garage, was also present, and a fourth one near the ceiling unveiled an expired box of cheese nibs and a substantial spider web. While the user hasn't provided comprehensive elaboration or unearthed new information regarding these findings, she did confirm that the house was constructed in 1859. Encountering disruptive flight attendants or unruly passengers on your upcoming flight is something best avoided, as both situations can be equally distressing and unsettling within the confines of an aircraft, far above the ground and distant from immediate emergency assistance. On Delta Flight 2565, more than an hour after departing from Minneapolis, a distressing incident unfolded, captured on video by fellow passengers and shared widely. The disturbance caused by two passengers was so severe that it compelled the flight to turn around and return to Minneapolis. The individuals at the center of the incident were a 35-year-old man named Blake and a 36-year-old woman named Anna. Anna attempted to use the restroom shortly after takeoff, a practice that is not permitted. The flight attendant instructed her to return to her seat, leading both passengers to react vehemently. As the confrontation escalated involving Blake, at least one other passenger came to the flight attendant's assistance. Upon landing back in Minneapolis, law enforcement was called to remove the disruptive couple, and this action was met with applause from their fellow passengers. Blake and Anna were subsequently charged with disorderly conduct. In response to the incident, Delta issued the following statement. The flight crew of Delta 2565 from Minneapolis, St. Paul to Los Angeles made the decision to return to Minneapolis shortly after takeoff. This was due to 2 passengers refusing to follow crew instructions, becoming aggressive, and causing a disturbance in the cabin. He dropped more than 10 feet from the crane's cab and ran for his life just as the crane toppled over behind him. While the crash appeared loud on camera, the actual sound standing in close proximity to it would have been even more deafening. Subsequent investigation results revealed that the issue lay with the crane itself and not with the operator's actions. This was certainly a relief for the crane operator, who had narrowly escaped a life-threatening situation. However, he might have had concerns about his job security despite his survival. This particular clip has some unique aspects, primarily because the context in which it was presented is crucial. It emerged as part of the testimony during the Parkland shooting trials, and the footage depicts a man inside a booth at McDonald's. To an observer without the relevant context, this video may appear as nothing more than a young man engaged in a phone conversation. However, the chilling aspect of this clip becomes apparent when one understands the recent events that have unfolded. In reality, the person in the video is the shooter, who immediately after the Parkland shooting can be seen making a casual phone call to a friend asking for a ride home. The clip itself unfolds at a slow pace, with not much activity occurring. Nonetheless, the real terror lies in the fact that if encountered without any prior knowledge of the individual's identity, the video portrays him acting remarkably normal in the aftermath of such a traumatic event. In a video clip currently making the rounds on TikTok, shared by the account tatakes.sobrenaturalist, a visitor captures the stunning sight of a cascading waterfall. However, as the camera pans, it captures an unexpected and somewhat eerie sight. Amidst the tumultuous water, a distinctive figure silhouette becomes visible. The tourist's astonishment is palpable, as they exclaim about the shadowy presence and urgently question their companion if they also witnessed it. While the video's origins remain enigmatic, its swift dissemination across various social media platforms underscores its eerie fascination. The footage has ignited curiosity and discussions, leaving viewers pondering whether the figure is a result of a trick of light, an optical illusion, or a genuinely unexplained phenomenon. As the debate persists, one thing remains clear: this waterfall in Rio Carlo has gained notoriety for more than just its natural beauty. The following video unfolds within the premises of the school hospital Universitario in Honduras. The legend surrounding this place tells of a doctor who tragically took his own life within the confines of this small teaching hospital many years ago. It is believed that his spirit still lingers in the corridors, haunting the institution. On one ominous night, a medical student who was working late in the hospital began to perceive peculiar and eerie sounds emanating from one of the hallways. He managed to capture this eerie experience on video. It is said that the ghost of this doctor is often heard wandering through the hospital's halls during the late hours, and at times, it is known to play tricks like flicking the lights on and off in patient rooms. Teachers play a crucial role in not only imparting knowledge but also serving as role models for the children they educate. In an unfortunate incident involving Kimberly Cotes, a school teacher from Oklahoma, she showed up to her elementary school classroom on the first day intoxicated. This unusual situation led to her being summoned to the principal's office, akin to how misbehaving students are called in.
So, just observing you in classroom, it looks like something's off a little bit. And so I've asked Officer Dean to come in here and visit with it. Have you taken anything that's, do you have a prescription for anything that maybe you have taken today that just seems like you're not the same person that I talked to this morning?
The school administration invited a police officer to be present as they questioned the teacher regarding any substances she might have ingested. Initially, she denied having taken anything, but then provided false information about having consumed anxiety medication.
So you haven't taken anything while you were at school?
No.
Have you taken any sort of medication today?
I'm sorry, what?
Have you taken any medication today?
I did take some medication this morning for my anxiety.
Is it a prescription? Because you changed your story a little bit. Now
Yeah,
you
you said it was
took
last night.
Yeah.
Well, I took one last night and then I took one this morning because my anxiety was really like...
Eventually, she admitted to having consumed alcohol, but claimed it was the previous night and not while she was at school.
Did you drink something while you were here at school?
Not while I was at school.
When did you drink something?
Last night. I wouldn't bring it into the school.
Are you gonna blow double zeros?
I don't know.
You should know. If you hadn't drank anything, you should blow zeros. If you drank something recently, it's gonna show.
To ascertain her level of intoxication, a breathalyzer test was administered, and the result indicated that her blood alcohol content was twice the legal limit.
Blow, 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 blow. All right, stop. You blew 2 times the legal limit.
I did?
Yeah.
That's a Diet Coke.
Is there anything liquor in it?
Nope.
So if I go into the classroom, am I going to find anything else?
This confirms that she had consumed a substantial amount of alcohol that morning, and it couldn't be attributed to residual alcohol from the previous night.
You want to tell me the truth? How much you had to drink?
I drank last night.
There's no way you drank last night.
Well, I did drink last night.
A field sobriety test was conducted as well, further affirming her state of intoxication.
You drank recently. Yeah, she's intoxicated.
I see.
Considering her condition, the school needed to arrange for someone to pick her up, and she faced the prospect of being arrested for driving under the influence, DUI, if she attempted to operate a vehicle.
Do you have anybody that's there that could come pick you up?
My husband's he's still at school working. I don't want you to call him.
Well, I can't let you leave. If you leave, you're going to get arrested.
Yeah, I'm going to arrest you for DUI.
So I need somebody to come pick you up.
During the meeting, she was presented with limited options: either face potential termination of her employment or take the more honorable route of resignation.
So what happens? So what happens then, Mr. Ogle?
Well, my recommendation to the board is going to be to terminate you because you're under the influence, or you can resign.
These alternatives were clearly explained to her during the meeting.
What?
We think that you drank today. Not 3 a.m. We think that you've drank since you've been at school. And I don't believe you're being honest with us.
Okay, I drank on the way to work.
Okay. I'm glad that you told us that. Okay. We'll still discuss tomorrow.
I went to work here. I went to work here.
In the end, due to her repeated falsehoods, Contessa was placed under arrest and transported to the police station, despite her pleas and tears.
Hey, officer, please.
Quit! I'm done. I tried to be nice. I'm done.
To prevent the students from witnessing their teacher in handcuffs, the arrest was discreetly carried out at the back of the school.
Hey, Spencer, if I write a ticket, can you run it back up there here in a little bit? You were doing?
Yeah,
okay.
district.
Oh, you want me to do district?
District.
Okay. Never mind, I'm going to do a district.
In September 2023, few stories garnered more attention than the 13-day manhunt for Danilo Cavalcante. This Brazilian national had been convicted of the murder of his girlfriend and managed to escape from the Chester County prison on August 31st by squeezing between 2 walls. He then ventured into the wooded area between Lancaster and Philadelphia, where his plan was to steal a truck and make his way to either Canada or Puerto Rico. Despite an exhaustive manhunt, Cavalcante skillfully evaded capture for almost 2 weeks. During this time, he survived by consuming watermelon and drinking from forest streams to sustain himself. On multiple occasions, he came perilously close to being apprehended. Surveillance cameras captured him more than once, and he even faced gunfire from a homeowner after pilfering a rifle from the homeowner's garage. He recounted a hair-raising encounter with a police officer who nearly stumbled upon him when he was hiding. Finally, on the morning of September 13th, law enforcement stumbled upon the fugitive while he was asleep and a police dog was successful in subduing him. What adds an extraordinary twist to the story is the fact that Cavalcante employed the same method and escaped from the same location as a previous inmate in Chester County Prison. Switching gears to a rather unsettling topic that can surely diminish your appetite, the presence of a firearm can have that effect. In this particular incident, a Subway restaurant in Oklahoma City was operating its usual business, serving customers in the ordinary course of a day. However, a man wearing a green shirt significantly disrupted the scene when he approached the counter, leaping over it to confront the young employees working there. The workers promptly took evasive action, dropping to the floor as the man was armed and appeared to pose a potential threat. This response aligns with the best course of action for individuals employed in the food or retail industry because no job is worth risking one's life, particularly when the wages typically range around $10 or $11 an hour. Thanks for watching. Stay vigilant, friends.